Hey, I don't know if you're ready to hear this, but your remodeling company is losing $100,000 per year by making just this one common mistake. And here's the crazy part. I can actually prove it to you. In just 4 months, we generated 835 qualified leads at $12 each, while most people are paying $30 to $40 per lead. And we built a following of over 660,000 followers on Instagram. And then the best part about this is we were able to generate $600,000 in revenue in those 4 months. But what makes this even more interesting is that we did this as a brand new company in a new market without any prior construction experience or referrals. So in this video, I'm going to show you one critical mistake that keeps remodeling companies from scaling to $5 million per year and past that. This isn't just theory. I'm going to show you exactly how we implemented this in our own business and how you can do the same too as well. So here's my promise for this video. I'm going to show you three things. Number one, why most remodeling companies are stuck competing with cheap contractors for low margin jobs. And then how to never hear, I found someone cheaper again, using what we call the authority protocol. I'm sure you hear that a lot, like I found someone cheaper. And then number three, I'll also show you the exact system and how you can implement that in your business in the next 90 days. So let's go to the first one, right? Number one, so why most remodeling companies are not able to land high margin jobs and you're having to deal with cheap contractors, people that you can do better work than them, but then they still get the jobs, right? The reason why this is happening is basically what I call the race to the bottom pricing, right? So, for example, work gets slow, you don't have enough work coming in, and then you drop prices to compete. But when you drop prices to compete, you don't have that much revenue coming in, and then you can't afford quality subs. Then we also have what we call the word of mouth trap, right? Your business is dependent on referrals. So you have this feast of famine mode. Some months are good, some months are not really good, right? So the unpredictability of that model is actually not good. It's not healthy for any business. So basically, let me paint you a picture. This is probably what happens in your company. So basically, you're working on an estimate, yeah? And then you have that estimate, you send that off to the client, and then you get information that says, okay, thanks. We are waiting for quotes from like 5 other contractors. You probably get this a lot, right? Because in the end, people always price shop. The problem is having to deal with price shoppers. We want you to free yourself from that in this sense. So all of a sudden, you're like in a bidding war with 5 other contractors, right? Half of them are lowballing, or maybe, I don't know, maybe 80% of them are like people that you can actually do better work than. And then the problem is the client can't tell the difference. They don't know what separates you from that other contractor and why they should hire you. So you are just another contractor. And this is the reason why you're having to deal with this issue. There's no way to know that you're the best choice, or if you'll be just another renovation horror story that they've heard about. So which brings me to the second point, right? How do we stop this from happening? Saying, okay, you know what, maybe they actually come back and then they tell you, oh yeah, I found someone cheaper, and then they go with that other person. So what we do in this case is we implement the authority protocol. But before I do that, so let me ask you something, like, for example, when you need heart surgery, or when someone needs a specialized physician, do you look for the cheapest doctor? No. People look for the specialist, the expert, the person that everyone says is the best at what they do. So again, I don't understand why contractors are being stuck in price wars, because most of them haven't positioned themselves as the specialist or the expert, basically the obvious choice in this case. So this is where the authority protocol comes in. So let me show you exactly how this works with a real example. So there's this company called Finished Basements based in New Jersey. So they completely changed the game in their market. So here's their Instagram page, right? So instead of just posting, before and after photos like everyone else, they started creating detailed videos, right, that show exactly what goes into a quality basement renovation. They take you behind the scenes with their team and everything. And they show you how everything works, with proper waterproofing techniques, or why building codes exist and stuff like that. And then the result from this is they land 6-figure basement contracts. But here's what is really interesting. If a client is coming to them after watching all this content, they already trust them as the authority. They're not choosing between contractors anymore. They're just deciding exactly when to start. And again, we saw this and then we thought, you know what? We can actually do something similar. So what we did is we basically implemented. So what we did was we implemented what we call the authority protocol in our own business, and in just 4 months we built a following of over 60,000 people. Again, this makes us the most followed construction company in Calgary. But forget about the follower count for a moment. Here's what really actually matters. We've been able to recreate that authority status. Like we have a video here that says, how much does it cost to build a basement? This video has over 1.4 million views. Why? Because it answered exact questions that are keeping potential clients up at night. But here's where it gets interesting. When these clients reach out to us, the conversations are kind of different. They're definitely completely different. Instead of, oh, what's your best price? We start hearing things like, oh, I watched your video about waterproofing. Oh, I saw that video about how to get permits in Calgary. And your content really helped me understand why quality works more. I love how you explain everything in detail. And my personal favorite is like, I've been following your work for weeks. I don't need other quotes. When can you start? These are the things that we're hearing from our clients. These clients weren't just choosing us. They were actually worried about whether they could get in on our schedule. So why does this work so well? It's because we are addressing the biggest fear that every homeowner has. Hiring a contractor who will either do subpar work or worse, or take their deposit and ghost them. When they see educational content, when they watch us explain complex processes in simple terms, they see us already addressing common problems before they even ask. It builds a level of trust that no sales pitch can actually match. And here's the best part. It's not about getting more followers or views. It's about completely changing the way how clients see you. So when you're the authority, you're not one of 5 quotes anymore. You're like kind of the standard that other people get compared to. And when that happens, something magical occurs, right? It's like the price becomes secondary to the value that you provide. Because, just like that, surgeon or whatever I spoke about earlier, you become the obvious choice for anyone who wants the job done right. When you implement the authority protocol in your business, 3 things happen in your business. You have 3 shifts that actually happen, right? The first one, which I call the perception shift, right? The client stops seeing you as just another contractor, and you become the educator, the expert, the trusted authority in your field. The other shift that you have is like you have really quality leads. So instead of having tire kickers and price shoppers, you start attracting clients who value quality and are pre-sold on working with you. And then the third one is the sales conversation. It goes from, oh, why are you so expensive to when can you start? Then price becomes secondary to your expertise. So I'm sure you're wondering, how can you implement this in your business? And that's what I'm going to show you now, right? So this is the exact system that you can implement in your business starting today in the next 90 days to get this authority for your business. So this is what we call the authority protocol. So it's a 2-pillar implementation system. First one is what we call the viral content database, right? The first step is what we call outlier mining, right? And this is what most people get wrong. People actually post pictures of their their finished product online, and then they think that's okay. And then you get maybe like 2 likes, 3 likes, maybe 1 like is from your sub trade. But the question is, how do you get content that shows you as the authority and also actually goes viral? So what we do is we look at the biggest accounts in the industry that we are working in. But again, there are accounts that get engagement just because of their size. Again, that's not helpful for you. So what we look for is outlier posts. We look for posts that have gone viral despite coming from smaller accounts. So people that don't have, 200,000, 1 million followers, but then they have maybe like 4,000 followers, but then they're able to get videos that go viral to like a million views plus. So we look at those posts and then create a database. So we spent months building a massive database of these outlier posts, right? This is what we've done for our business, and this is what you should do as well too, right? So you analyze what topics consistently go viral, what video styles get the most engagement, and which explanations resonate most with homeowners, and what content actually converts into leads. So this is how we are able to create viral content. almost on demand. It's not luck, it's kind of a studied science. Then the second pillar is the systems. And what is underpinning that is the content calendar, strategic content calendar. So the idea is turning these insights into a systematic content plan. But here's the key, like you're not just copying what works for others. You're using proven frameworks and making them your own. Okay, so here's your 90-day implementation schedule, right? So from day 1 to 30, you're kind of building the foundation, right? So you check your current content online right now and then see which platforms you want to use. We use Instagram. Another one might work for you, but I know Instagram actually does work well in generating leads. So then you set up your content creation system and then identify your unique selling points, what separates you from other contractors. And then you create your first batch of educational content. This information will come from the database that you've created earlier. And then days 31 to 60, that's month 2. So you now start a regular posting schedule once a day, and then you monitor engagement patterns. And then when you see which one actually does well, you can now adjust your content based on what is doing well. So while you're doing that, you will now start building your audience base. You start seeing your followers increase, likes increase, and then you can now start generating leads from that. Then in the month 3, you can now start what we call the establishing authority. So you increase posting frequency, engage with your growing audience, and then you start sharing more in-depth expertise. All at this point, you don't want to ignore lead generation, right? So you have links at the top of your profile that leads to a funnel or that leads to forms that they can fill, and then they can reach out to you and then find ways to get in contact with you and find out how they can work with you. And then the good thing about this is like over time, if you do this consistently over time, you will actually see results. You actually see people coming to you for your value and not price shopping, right? So now the authority protocol is just one of the 3 pillars that we use to scale remodeling businesses. So we have a complete growth infrastructure here that we use to scale remodeling businesses to $5 million and beyond, right? If you'd like to see how we can implement this complete system in your business, click the link below to book a call with our team, and we'll show you how to adapt this system for your specific market, the exact content templates we use, and how quickly you can expect to see results. So if you're serious about transforming your business to $1 million, $5 million and beyond, right, it would be good to speak to us. I have a video that will show you how to implement all these 5 protocols in your business to help you scale. So click the link below. Looking forward to seeing you on there.